Once upon a time, on the plain of Eldraine, there was a color of creatures that grew both big and small, that lived in the land that always grew tall. It was the color of green. Alright, today we're going over the top 10 cards you should play during your pre-release for the color green. And starting off at number 10, there was a lot of choices to go here, ton of runner-ups. But number 10, Fierce Witch Stalker. 2 green for a wolf. It's a 4/4 with trample, and when it enters the battlefield, you create a food token. So 4 mana for a 4/4 with trample. Holy crap, I love that. I'd play as many of those as I can get. That's just a very efficient creature. This is gonna be like the workhorse of green, I feel like, in limited decks. And when it comes down, you just get a food token. Sure, green can use that. It has ways to deal with those, and maybe you just want to gain some life, who cares? Love this card, think it's amazing. And it's only a common? Yeah, so good. Next at number 9, Gilded Goose. 1 green for a bird, it's an 0/2, has flying. When it enters the battlefield, create a food token. You pay 1 green, tap it, create a food token. And then tap it, sacrifice the food, add 1 mana of any color. Alright, so it's no Birds of Paradise, but still, it is mana fixing. A little bit of ramp, and just make food tokens. So if you're like in the food deck, this is awesome. Sacrificing to make another color, a little bit slow, we'll say, but you get off right away when it comes to the battlefield, so at least you're getting 1 right then. And then late in the game, hey, you know what? Let's just make a bunch of food tokens, make sure I stay in this game. Maybe my deck just really likes to sacrifice foods. Either way, this card's awesome. Would never cut from a green deck. Coming at number 8, Kendras Transformation. 1 and a green for enchantment aura, enchant creature. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card. Enchant creature loses all abilities and is a green elk creature with base power and toughness 3/3. I don't like the fact you're making their creature a 3/3. That sucks, but you're turning off their abilities, so if they have flying, trample, anything like that, cool. Let's just get rid of that out of the way right now. If they have a bigger creature, it's like a 6/6 or something, hey, let's shrink it down to a 3/3, that's great. But if it's a 1/1 death touch and you're giving them a 3/3, that kind of sucks. You're like, ouch. But what really makes up for this is A, it's low mana cost. 2, that's awesome. And you get to draw a card. That just puts it over the top for me. That drawing card saves it so much. But yeah, really like this card. Green removal, I'll take it. Did wish it also said Planeswalkers though, just, for flavor. Coming at number 7, Return of the Wild Speaker. 4 and a green for an instant. Choose 1, draw cards equal to the greatest power among non-human creatures you control, or non-human creatures you control get +3/+3 until end of turn. Yes, you need creatures for this to be good, or, used at all. But it is green, so you're gonna have creatures. It's just how big are they going to be? How many are you gonna have? Either way, I feel like if you wanna draw cards, 3/3, that's fine. 5 mana, instant speed to draw 3 cards, I'll take that, especially in green. Green doesn't get much card draw, and that's awesome. And its other ability, yeah, it doesn't have trample, so it's not quite overrun, but it can win you the game sometimes where you're just like, attack, nothing, okay. Everything gets +3/+3. It's like, Jesus Christ, that hurts. So yeah, I like this card just because the 2 modes, while not as good as like a card on their own, add up to a pretty good card. Coming in number 6, Keeper of Fables. 3 green for a cat, 4/5, and whenever 1 or more non-human creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, draw a card. Yeah, I like this guy. He's 5 mana for a 4/5. That's great. Usually this type of card would be like 5 mana for a 3/3, and you're like, he can't really attack to get his ability to go off. But, he can attack and probably still hit and draw a card. If anything else gets through, like you have flying and it's non-human, you're just drawing cards for days. Like, yes, if 5 of your guys hit, you only get to draw 1 card, but just being able to do that every turn, so good. Really like this guy. He's just a very good enabler for, drawing cards. That's just great in green. Coming at number 5, Wildborn Preserver. 1 green for an elf archer to 2/2 that has flash and reach. And whenever another non-human creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may pay X. When you do, put X 1/1 counters on Wildborn Preserver. Okay, this card is interesting. So 2 mana for 2/2 flash reach. Sure, maybe early game you can flash this in to get somebody just to kill their creature. Maybe you trade up with a 3/2 or something. That's fine. Not what you want to do. That's like worst case scenario. This, freaking, you play this at the end of their turn. Next turn, you play something little and just tap for like 5 mana to give it 5 counters. Really good, really good. Doesn't have any evasion, sadly, but who cares if you're just adding more and more counters with this. Eventually get out of control, hopefully. Love that. But as I've said before, its highs are pretty high, but its lows, not that great. Base 2/2, basically. Number 4, Wicked Wolf. 2 green for a wolf. It's a 3/3. When there's a battlefield, it fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. Sacrifice a food, put a 1/1 counter on it. It gains indestructible until end of turn. Tap it. Yes, please. Green has so much like just food tokens laying around probably. The fact you can play this, sack a food, make it a 4/4, so it trades up, and it's going to live no matter what, because guess what? It's indestructible. That is really good. If you can just, flicker this to get ETBs going on, even better. I think this is a very efficient creature, and hey, you know what? If you have to pay for, fight something else to kill it, and this dies too, that's fine too. Kind of sucks that your rare died, but who cares? Green removal, like I've said, really good card. All right, here we go. Number 3, Feasting Troll King. 2 green for a Troll Noble. It's a 7/6, has Vigilance and Trample. When it enters the battlefield, if you cast it from your hand, create 3 food tokens. Sacrifice 3 food tokens, return it from your graveyard to the battlefield. Activate this ability only during your turn. Okay, we need to talk about this card. In sealed, will this be hard to get off? Yes, because 4 green is a lot, but you are in green, so I feel like it is doable. Do you have to go mono green? It helps, but I don't think you have to, just because, ways to get lands, ways to, make green mana from your creatures or something. And if you are able to get this down, you're probably going to win the game, because a Vigilance Trample 7/6, that's crazy. And then the fact that, if they do kill it, you can just sacrifice your food and get it back. You don't have to pay for it again. It just goes onto the battlefield. So there's also the way of maybe, hey, I have a bunch of food tokens in my deck, and this somehow gets in the graveyard. Maybe you milled it yourself or you discarded it. Just sacrifice 3 food tokens and it goes on a battlefield. It's another way to do it. Yeah, it's, a little bit Happy Christmas land type of thing, but this card is just amazing. This is a bomb. It's a bomb, but only if your deck can support it. That's why it's so high, because maybe some decks, it's unplayable, but if you can play it, you're going to win the game. Coming at number 2, the Great Hinge. 7 green for Legendary Artifact. This spell costs X less to cast, where X is the grace of power among creatures you control. Tap it, add green, you gain 2 life. Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a 1/1 counter on it and draw a card. Oh, there's a lot of abilities going on, and it is 9 mana, but this is green. You're going to have a creature. Let's say you have a 4/4, all right? So I play this for 4 less. It's 5 mana total. Awesome. I can tap it, maybe play a 2-drop, gain 2 life, and then now it's a 3/3 and I get to draw a card. That's not even that hard to set up. Like, the only hard setup there is having a 2-drop in your hand. If you don't, hey, guess what? Just wait till next turn. You can play a 5-drop, and now it's a 6/6, and you get to draw a card. And the fact, hey, you know what? I'm just going to play this. I'm going to tap it for green and gain 2 life. Why not? Might as well. This card, let's say you're ahead, puts you more ahead. Parity, it helps you out a lot because it's making your creatures come out bigger, and it's helping you cast more creatures. It's also helping you draw cards. But if you're behind, that's a little bit harder. It's just like it doesn't add any creatures on the board right then. Gains you 2 life. Maybe that saves you a turn, but you're really going to have to be drawing a bunch of creatures and playing them and just to try and get back. So really like this card though. I feel like this is going to be hard to have it not be 5 mana or less. All right, and coming in at number 1, Questing Beast. 2 green for a legendary creature, Beast. The 4/4 with Vigilance, Death Touch, and Haste. Questing Beast can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. Combat damage that would be dealt by creatures you control can't be prevented. And whenever it deals combat damage to an opponent, it deals that much damage to target planeswalker that player controls. That's a lot of text. So the planeswalker one doesn't really matter, but if it does happen, that's nice. Hey, they have a planeswalker, you hit them, it hits the planeswalker too. Not gonna happen, but once in a while, maybe. Combat damage can't be prevented. Don't really see that happening either. It's the can't be blocked by power 2 or less that's nice, because it means it can't be chump blocked by just, some 1/1s. And what's really nice is Vigilance, Death Touch, and Haste. So turn 4, you play this, attack right away. It's going to kill something. It's going to stay behind and block. And, maybe it dies because they blocked with a 5/5, but you know what? You got rid of their 5/5. Oh, it's so good. There's just so much going on. It's a really efficient creature. I really like it. It's not going to come down and win you the game right away. It's not like a bomb or anything. It's just a very, very good creature. All right, now let's talk about a rare you should never play. And there are none. Green's rares are really good. They're all very playable. There's none that's just a big stinker. So yeah, sorry about that. So green, looking pretty good. Has a lot of good creatures. Maybe a little lacking on the removal side. Just, it's green. What you expect. That happens a lot. But its creatures more than make up for that. And yeah, really looking forward to playing green, especially with like green-white adventure deck. That looks a lot of fun. All right, if you want to follow me on Twitter, booster_tutor, and see you next draft. This program brought to you by viewers like you.